Hello everyone. Hello, welcome to the new episode of Psychics Lives. And yeah, you know, today we redo something that we did in the past. We take a look at Dagger, but a lot of new stuff came up, so I found very useful to focus on this new stuff. So I hope you enjoy as well. So let's start with some introduction first of all. This is a bit different with respect to the previous time because I like to start really from the basics and then we can enjoy better the new features that came up. So up I hope you enjoy also this decision. Now why don't we jump directly if I can. Okay, yeah, now I suppose you should be able to see myself and the presentation that I have in mind. So, first thing first, why you should follow or you should keep watching this video, or if you're live, why you should stay. Well, I drop some names, and if you resonate, I think it's a good thing for you to get started with Dagger. So workflows, pipelines, DAC, artifacts, registries. Well, let's play this game. If I mention one of these terms that you had in mind during the last week, well, you are eligible to become a Dagger node. Okay, so you want to explore at least once what the Daggerverse can do for you. And in other words, if you start the journey of using Dagger for your daily routines, you will get, of course, some benefits. Otherwise, you won't be here. And one of these benefits is that you can start leveraging a reproducible execution engine. What I mean by that? I mean that you can have all your algorithm, all your pipelines, once for all, packed like, I don't know, you can imagine really a sandbox, but a real modular sandbox that you can send and ship around and find reproducible results. So this is the first thing that you get for free, an engine capable of abstracting anything from the basics to the more advanced tasks, so containers building or making services spawn like a Kubernetes cluster and then do things ephemeral but reproducible inside this engine. Then there is also, thanks to this universal engine, you will have also a universal type system. What does it mean? It means that you can essentially have a declarative way, basically code that you can write and have all the types for all your steps, meaning I want a container, I want a file to be mounted into this container, we will take a look very, very soon, all strictly typed in your preferred coding language. And of course, to develop and to write this kind of pipelines in your preferred language, you also have to come with some SDKs. Yeah, imagine what? Dagger provides you all the tools needed to develop your own pipeline in this new and really powerful way. And thanks to that, of course, there is also the last but not least feature that you want to explore. Not only you have all the tools to create and develop your toolchain, your workflow in a declarative and reproducible way, but also, listen, this is the most interesting part, there is an ecosystem that is in the building of modules. Modules are literally just Lego block of any kind of action that you can imagine with containers or with pipelines, and you define this little building block, you call it module, and you can compose together with all other modules written in all other languages and work together on top of this engine. Okay, I understand it's not that easy at first sight, so let's go further and see what are the main use cases that needs this kind of abstraction and reproducibility, right? Are you seeing the slide? I received a message that you don't. No, okay, you see them. Perfect. So then there is what are these slides and these topics made for. Just recover where I left. And this is the interesting part. Everything was thought with a particular use case in mind. You might have heard, okay, Dagger is CI/CD, right? That's the starting point. And it's kind of true. But let's think just a second about this thing. You have a situation that you can call push and pray, right? So where you are pushing a button and you don't know what is going to happen, right? It can explode in your face. And yes, this is the typical solution and a typical habit we developed in the CI/CD world. But as a scientist or as a data scientist, you can imagine a situation, at least one situation, I'm sure, where your workflows, your daily workflows, are encountering what I'm calling here a push and pray situation, right? Don't lie, at least one. I promise you can find it. And in that situation as well, you can reuse a technology used for a CI/CD pipeline for something a little different, right? So for your daily evaluation of a machine learning training or whatever. And talking of machine learning, yeah, also AI, if you're wondering. Also AI can be a thing in this scenario, right? So you can get the best of reproducibility that Dagger offers to also an isolation engine, so being separated, be sandboxed inside this engine, also to confine what an AI agent can do, so and reproduce and test what an AI agent can do. So this is the last point. This is the new cool guy in town, and we will have a sneak peek at the end of the streaming. But yeah, I saw that you are already a bit interested. So yeah, you can do all of this kind of thing are useful and are a use case for using Dagger. So, okay, we have use cases, we have a rough idea of what Dagger can do, how Dagger can do such things. Well, starting from giving you the tools, okay? You can imagine you have a lot of components, a lot of different kind of tasks in your workflow. Some are more smarter than other. It doesn't matter. You want to compose them and put them onto a platform that is capable of running them with a declarative approach. Well, declarative, or even better, in your preferred language for coding. So you write code to define your pipeline. And yeah, it's simple like that. You have now Dagger, that provides you all of this through an isolated and reproducible environment. Mechanism that comes built in to compose different services, like spawning a Kubernetes cluster and bringing up a container to talk with this Kubernetes cluster, all inside the engine. And then there is the trace that are needed to track what is happening inside. And yes, it comes also with a web UI where you can take a look at what is happening essentially inside the engine live. It's pretty cool. We will see, don't worry. And the other part, the last part is, okay, I want to be able to debug also this kind of black boxes, right? And you can, again, you log in into your running pipelines, you attach your session, and you're ready to go. Simple like that. Now, one final thought was, okay, yeah, I like it. I also wonder how I can share my work, right? Once I have my pipelines, I want to work together with other colleagues and make things even more complicated. Yeah, these modules can be composed, and also you can share a module built on top of other modules as a new module, just like you do with container images. What you do with container images, you take different layer, different operation, you start from something that already exists, and you can go from there and produce a new stuff. Right, so now, how you can do all of this, right? Everything starts from the Docker engine. The Docker engine is something you can imagine like a magic process that is running inside a containerized environment, so separated from your host system. So the only requirement that you need, that you have, is a Docker engine or something like that, so Podman or whatever. And then you can spawn an instance of the Dagger engine. The Dagger engine is responsible to expose a set of core API to do different things. You can see here some examples. There goes from containers, directories, files. These are easy, right? So containers is the API to spawn and create and build containers. Directories and files are needed because since you are sandboxed, you are inside the runtime, you want to bring something new inside, or something from the host, or taking something from inside the sandbox and bringing it to the host. You need some primitive, and these primitives are the directories and files. Then there are other more sophisticated primitives that are, for instance, Git. You want to import code from Git. And also, once you have your container running, you want them to communicate each other, right? Usually it happens like that. So you have services, sockets, secrets, and cache. What I mean by cache is not just building container cache like you used in any Docker build process, but the logic is very similar. If you have in your chain of tasks something that doesn't change from one run to another, that level of information are cached, so it won't be re-executed in some sense. It will access the results from the cache. Pretty powerful. We will see not today, but in the next course. Then the new primitive, the one that I told you before, it was very cool. Now, no, I don't want to spoiler. I tell you later what this is about. So you can imagine from LLM syntax, but yeah, I like to delay the surprise. All right, but all of this included the SDKs to talk with these APIs and develop your own DAG wouldn't be so useful if you cannot share or reuse other people's module, right? And in this sense, Daggerverse is what is meant to be. So the Daggerverse is supposed to be, and it is, a registry for all the modules from the ecosystem, from the community. And from there you can access, just like a Docker registry, and bring to your local machine a module that has been written by someone else. Simple but very powerful. Now that's it. You can become a Dagger node starting from this basic knowledge. A Dagger engine, some SDKs, and you can run locally or on any CI/CD pipeline your code in the same manner, really in the same manner. Not like you do now when you pass from one CI tool to the local machine. Here you have an isolation, and the engine itself is guaranteeing you that the things will work the same. All right. Ready? Are we ready? So let's start from how you can get started. And you can get started from Docker engine installation. I suppose everyone knows how to install Docker engine, so I have a machine where I have a Docker install, and also I ran the command that I have this in this slide, where I install my Dagger engine. And you can already see one interesting thing. The Dagger engine is a container that is running on the inside the Docker engine. Easy, pretty easy, very nice. Now, let's go to Dagger. Dagger. Okay, let's see what you can do. For instance, let's start from, again, sorry, let me go back. We start from here. This should work on Linux. On Dagger.io you can find all the other operating systems that are supported, so pretty much everything. Once you installed, now it's time for us to take a look at the first primitive. And the first primitive I told you was containers, right? So we are in the need of accessing a core API that is called container. And yeah, how you can define a container, right? So usually we are used to use from as the first line of your Docker file. And this entity, well, be careful. We are building a container type, right? So this means that yes, indeed, under the hood you are building an image, but it's more correct to imagine this like an object, like something that you are defining. In this way, from the command line, we will see how you can define in the code. And this container is an object that you can extend as you want, right? You shouldn't imagine them as images or containers. They can be, you can have some container running from an image, but it's just a part of the power of these tools. So, okay, without further ado, let's try to do address, and your address is something like maybe Ubuntu, and then you can go to a new line and type okay, and then this object has different method that you can call, and one of these is with exec. So for instance, you can ask for args, and you can install apt update, and then you can go ahead and say with exec minus args, and say args apt install -y, and we install, I don't know, okay. Then, okay, let's try this. No, let's try another one. So again, this object has these commands that you can put in line, and then you can do something like terminal. I think. Let me check. Terminal. What I'm saying with this pipeline, I'm saying, okay, my pipeline starts with well, more than a pipeline. With this API call, I create a container. Then I use the from method to say, okay, the image of this container will start from Ubuntu, and I concatenate a series of exec command to arrive eventually to the final one, where I use a method again with exec, I still acting on top of containers. So I'm using container method. One of these methods is terminal, that allow you to log into the container that you just built. And you see now everything starts. The Ubuntu image is downloaded, and voila, now you are inside the container. And if I type figlet chow, figlet is installed. Okay? Pretty neat, pretty simple, and pretty powerful. Now let's take again this the command that we ran before, and just okay, no, sorry, remove terminal, and let's keep going. Okay, we will see in just a few seconds a very quicker way to do this, but stay with me for the time being. No, it's too cool. I have to show you right now. So Dagger shell. Now I am in a shell with completion and whatever. So really cool. And as a shell, I can just type container from minus address. Okay, let me copy this. Okay, terminal. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to do this. No, I cannot translate in this way, sorry. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I would like to have a flash to click to erase all your recent memory, but okay. Let's keep going. So we are building from the core APIs, and we start with new methods. And one of these methods is, for instance, saying, okay, I want I want this thing. To write something, so with exec minus minus args, and we say echo no, we say yeah, sorry, I improvised, but it's never good to improvise in live. So let's go back to the plan. Plan A, create a file, test.txt. Come on. I swear I had mvim installed, maybe in the wrong path. Never mind. So this is a text file. I want to import that inside this pipeline. So I can do with file minus minus path, and I put it into test.txt minus minus source, and I put this file in. So let me check. Yeah. Destination slash test, and required flag source. Okay. Path. Okay. Exactly. So sorry. The correct way to specify was with file minus minus source minus minus path, and I want this file to appear on slash. So if I do now cat slash test.txt, you see there is the file that I imported from the host. So now we imported from the host a file into the container for the build. Good. Let's go further. Let me clear exactly. So this is the command. Now let me clear terminal. Of course, this is to show you all the APIs, right? It's not that you have to write these huge lines. So, okay, Dagger, cool. Perfect. So new line, and we do finally with exec minus minus args, and imagine what we do figlet and figlet and slash test.txt. Okay, it's done, but we need, of course, to say, okay, now we do not do terminal, we do another thing. We do std out. in this way, figlet minus f. I don't remember the option for making figlet print the so you see now all these steps are cached and it's way quicker than before. And I just have to recall how figlet work. Figlet, this is the message, font file, directory. Well, you get what I mean, but well, look. Don't look at me. Figlet print file content. No, minus F is the font. Let me pipe. Okay, right. Was easier. So okay, let me go back. Come on. And we do this. Yeah. So okay, remove terminal and we say with exec minus args and this bash -c. Hope this works. Cat test.point.txt and then can you see the screen? Maybe it's too small. Okay. Cat txt figlet std out. Right. All right, we did it. So after some typo and rogue execution, we have our small single container pipeline in the work, and it's working, right? Now. This should be not so useful, right? You don't want to build images like that or doing anything like this. And for this reason, we start with installing an SDK. And one SDK can be, for instance, I have Python here installed. We can start with Python one. And how you do that? So, first of all, there are Sorry. There is one way to initialize what we discover later as a module. So Dagger init minus minus SDK Python, and then I never remember SDK. Okay. Minus minus name. The minus minus name demo container. So now the system will going to download, again, as you can see, is another engine pipeline, right? So everything is used inside this pipeline to be self-consistent. And why not? Why, if you are selling this kind of stuff, why not you use it in your internals? And here it is. The Python SDK is in the building inside Dagger. Everything runs inside Dagger. This tells you already the power of such a tool. So why is installing? We are taking a look at SDK, the first functions, and then we go a bit farther, not too much, but just a tiny bit, and see how everything works together. So, okay, let's see this finished. Something is not right. Yeah, I missed something for sure, because right now Dagger.json is what is installed, but I cannot see unless I'm completely blind where. No, it's not. So let me check. Just one sec. Holy cow. Create, build environments. No. Okay. Maybe I missed. Yeah, minus. Okay. Minus source demo. Let's make dir test module. Okay, the code gen is running. All right. All right, so now we have the actual code, right? So I missed the name of the directory while to install all the SDK, and in fact it didn't install it. So Dagger init SDK Python source demo. So you need to install, and now let's take a look together. If we do Dagger develop, this is going to install all the dependencies, so you can have your your favorite IDE capable of autocomplete and linting all your code. This is pretty useful. Let me install UV on this machine. Okay. UV is one of the quickest way you can have things spin up. So UV sync. Okay, UV sync. Uber fast as always, and then UV run. No, now I need MVM, so I cannot avoid to import that. Okay, so export path. I don't know why it didn't take it automatically, but yes, I should have put run MVM. Now let's go to src demo container main. This is the anatomy of functions, and in particular of a module showing function. So my module is demo container, you can see here. And the first function that we have is a container echo. You pass a string argument to this function and it returns a container that starts from Alpine and execute echo and string args. You want to see how it works? Like this. So Dagger, maybe from here. Yes, Dagger call container container echo minus minus string arg in this way, and ciao a tutti, higher one. So this is a single string though, so this and this. Now the module is starting and it's trying to build the module first, and then it will execute what we are asking for. You see here we are starting building the demo container echo, and here it is. It ran. It didn't print anything. You know what? Because here it's returning a container. And since it's returning a container, it doesn't print anything because it's returning, here you see, an object called container. Now, what you have to do to make it print something is tell him, look, I know this is returning a container. I want to get std out. Like before, remember? But now you have a container, you have an object that you can manipulate. And you see, it's working. Now it printed. The other one instead is more interacting with your system. You might want something, some module that get information from your file system and do some operation. So what does grabdir in this case? it's an async function because it's waiting for the module to exit to print the std out. In fact, you see the difference. Here you have Dagger container, here you have a string. And for this reason, we start with Dagger container, Alpine again. We mount the directory from the host and we put it into /mnt. We move our working directory of all the next steps into /mnt, and then eventually you have with exec grep -r and the pattern. Okay, so pattern is a string. Directory, you can see here the power of the types. You have a native type that is directory, so here the engine will check that the argument that you pass is actually a directory. If it's not an existing directory, it will drop an error. Okay, so let's see this in practice, and our Dagger becomes Dagger call grep dir directory arg is what is demo. So this is a directory. I want to grep for main. Okay, and to grep for main I have to ask for pattern equal -- pattern equal main. So now Dagger is taking my directory and is failing. Pattern --. Okay, he's mounting my directory, you see? Host directory, this one, is mounting it. And voila! It's grepping for main and showing the result. Again, here are the basics. So you create a module, you do some function, and you can put them together. Now, one thing, so if you wish, just pause for a second. If we wish, we are already in the situation where you can use this kind of tool, basic tools, just like we saw today, right now, and composing one with the other in the following way. I define a module, I create my pipeline that can be composed of different functions. I can reuse a previous function inside the following one. We'll see in a second. And then I can store in GitHub, for instance, the code for this module and make it available for all the others. And where are these modules stored? As I mentioned before, are in the Daggerverse. If you go to daggerverse.dev, you find everything. You find all the modules that are produced by other people. So let's take a look to the featured one, that is Elm. You can download it and we'll see how you reuse other modules in a second, or in the next lessons. We are going through some difficulties, so we are proceeding slow, but it's normal for the first lesson. We can take up from the next one. And yeah, you see here you have documentation, self-documentation. You put your code, and then there is a logic for which all the documentation comes by itself. But if you want to go to the code, what we see here, okay, this is the Go SDK that we didn't use yet. but you can recognize the Dagger JSON where you specify all your parameters, and we also have in our module, and some examples, and the core logic of the module was inside main. Okay, here you have your module with some other syntax because it's Go and not Python, but essentially everything you push in your GitHub or GitLab can be then shared in this Daggerverse and reused by others. So this kind of logic is very cool. Just imagine what you can do for data science. In this kind of way, you can create pipelines that are testing your machine learning training stuff right away without any issue, and track all the performances and debug them inside. So yeah, pretty neat, I would say. Good. So we still have a recap to do. Why I'm so excited about modules? Well, because they can be composed and distributed like artifacts. So you see, this Daggerverse is really a collection of artifacts. Inside each one of these pieces of the artifact, you can have different functions that can be composed in different ways. You can also use modules that comes from other languages. So in a certain sense, you have an engine that is translating into native APIs all you write into code. So at that point, it doesn't care anymore if you produce your module in Go or in Python or in TypeScript or whatever. You are writing a module for the Dagger engine. So it can understand everything and propose the very same method into any other language that can talk Dagger engine APIs. How cool is that? So we can create a module, but I think at this time we will go for the next one, where we develop something in the sandbox, and then we give access to this the file that we produce in the Jupyter Lab. We did already in a previous video, but it's nice to see in this new kind of approach how we can leverage the technology we saw today to see how it works. So we put this on hold because I want to show you briefly a very cool thing. Just close your eyes and imagine that if all these functions that we compose from the command line or from code, now an AI, an LLM precisely, can take them, understand the Dagger API, understand why and how to use the tools that you propose it, that are essentially the primitives of Dagger, plus the methods and the functions that you provide through your modules. So you install your module, the LLM knows that it can use for the purpose that they are built for, and try to do something. You see the power of this? Everything reproducible, everything isolated from your system. You cannot do damage accidentally. You can share your agent, you can share your tests for your agent in this way. You can package everything inside the module and having it reproducible. This is the latest and coolest thing I want to share, just to make you aware that this exists, this is coming, and this can be not a separate thing, but really something that complements what you have in mind. One example, you have your machine learning pipeline. One of the steps of your pipeline is going outside, offloading this task to a cloud machine with GPUs, or to a batch system with GPUs, and something fails. Suddenly you don't know what happens, and you have two options: exit with an error or retry. If you exit every time with an error, also you are getting an error for temporary unavailability of the remote batch system of the remote cloud. If you retry every time, you might lose time and efficiency. So the balance between these two, or what to do in case of failure, can be delegated to an LLM. So take care, if I get an error, take care of this. You are specialized agent to understand the best way to proceed in case of a problem of this sort. This is one thing. And I promise I'll take a look at that. So I leave you here in the Dagger documentation. There is documentation. There is a nice start guide for the new agents and the first agents that are starting to pop up with this approach. We will take a look to the toy programmer, that is a cool one. So essentially it takes some command and do some tests of the code before exiting. So you ask for something, it tests it in the engine sandbox, and then produce the output. Okay. So here you see you have all the examples, everything you need to know. And fortunately enough, this is something we can do live. So you have the only one advice for now, since it's very new, you have to install your the latest version of Dagger, and that's something like OpenAI endpoint or Llama to contact for provisioning the LLM model. Now I have it set up for OpenAI. Let's use it in this way. This is how easy it is to import a module written by someone else. Dagger -m stays for modules. We jump in directly into the module producing this way. So SDK, we load everything, we are prompt with a shell. And now in this shell, if you follow the documentation, you can have a lot of information. So you have all the primitives that you had before, plus the LLM1, plus the one provided by Toy Workspace. And one of the available function here is GoProgram. How we can use it? Well, with something like this. Okay, let's take directly the example from the guide and drop here. Oops. Okay. GoProgram, and I ask AI, okay, develop a curl clone and then bring me into the terminal. So develop this clone in Go, because it's a Go program, test it and do everything you want to test, and then bring me into the session where you created this file, so I can test that the Go code is doing what it's supposed to do. Yes, pretty cool. Now, let me introduce the last concept of today. Every step your pipelines do is monitored. So Dagger, and the solution for the monitoring, the supported solution, is called Dagger Cloud. So any kind of, oops, let's move to the latest one that is looking, come on, why is bringing me to the to the old one. Okay, I don't know. All the traces are stored here. You see here now there is the one yellow here, and this is the current pipeline that is running on my machine, and it's sending traces that are nicely shown in this graphic. So in other words, now we will see what is happening inside the engine and what the agent, what the LLM is thinking and doing under our commands. So let's drop this. Positioner argument. Come on. Go program. Maybe I mistyped something. Okay, let's try this one. That we were close. We were close to that. Okay, let me check. Go program. Nothing. Today, nothing worked. Come on. How is this possible? Go program. Does the Go program the module change it? I don't think so. Let me. It makes no sense. No sense. I literally did this command. You can see from the history here. Yeah. I did this command. Nothing more than nothing more than few, yeah, an hour and something ago. Let me try to understand if there is anything I'm missing from the initialization. So OpenAI model, Dagger cloud, completion. Okay, the version is correct, which yes, is correct. User local bin Dagger. Yeah, just a second more patience. Let me check. Okay. No. Okay, one last chance is looking at. No. Okay, guys, I don't know what to say. Probably I'll post something Later, a short about how to using this stuff. I'm really disappointed. Maybe I'll ask people at Dagger back. Yeah. I should have been missing something very stupid, most probably, but I cannot see it right now. I cannot see it right now. That's unfortunate. Okay. Yeah. There are two options. I'm missing up big times, or missing. No, I don't know. Yeah. Or something has been pushed in meantime, but it's difficult. I don't see anything obvious here. So pretty tired. I hoped to have more time to go further in the presentation, but yeah, I suppose now it's time to leave. It's quite late, and we did quite a journey already. So really basics, as it was supposed to be. I hope you got the rough idea of all the machinery that is under this cool stuff that we show. And I also hope to be back next time with a functioning version of the LLM. Really disappointed. And yeah, there is way more than what we saw today. So there is the integration with the CI/CD pipelines, native one, and you won't miss a pipeline anymore. There is also the possibility to go from one kind of pipelines or CI provider to the other, like this. And you see, using the very same code in both cases. Just one command. If you want to join Discord and see the quick start, these are the references. And yeah, and the same Discord where I'm going to ask for help in this kind of scenario, where you have something that doesn't work. A lot of people helping, join us, and enjoy the power of Dagger. So see you on the next episode, and thank you for staying so long. And yeah, I know, I'm sorry for things that are not working well. As always, if you are doing something live, the probability of this to happen is very high. Today was particularly high. I agree with you, but yeah, you know what. Thank you. Good night. Have a good day if you're on another part of the world, and see you on the next episode.